Hello, Samba here. This is going to be another of my videos going through some turns in my multiplayer game, playing as Cathay in an all Warhammer Nations game of Dominion 6. It is turn number 16. So let's start with research and construction completed. So we've got that up to level 3. We can get rings of water breathing and we can get flasks of holy water as well as various other fairly useful weapons and armors and things. That's to equip our dragon bloods with. We've got a couple of thrones being claimed. Yata Tekhutli, the 5th generation Slan, has claimed the Throne of Night. So the Lizardmen get the Throne of Night. And then a Marauder Scout has claimed the Throne of Summer for Illidan. Can't remember which one. Maybe Sladesh? I don't remember which Chaos Nation that is. We've cast Distill Gold for 375 gold, 10 fire gems used up for that. Of course, we need to pay back Nekara, who sent us those 20 fire gems. We only did one because we were trying to get our research done. Haoshan, the Dragonblood Lord, has found 2 magic sites in Walden. Lovely. What are those 2? Glittering Stream and Cave of the Pale Ones. Cave of the Pale Ones and Glittering Stream, they're both 2 path, 2 gems, so 1 gem of one type, 1 gem of another type. Sites, the Cave of the Pale Ones also gives you Pale Ones as recruitables, I believe. We'll look at that a bit later. Let's go through the rest of the messages. We've whiffed here and here. And this is a really strange one. Yuxiang, the Dragonblood Lord, has searched Spring Spires for magic sites and nothing was found. He has a really broad path, so it's a shame he didn't find anything. We see a battle in Skaven Blight. So this is a weird one. This is Bone Nose Tribe's gigantic sieging army. Just a huge number of Savage Orcs with a mix of other things. Mostly Savage Orcs, honestly, and big uns. And I think Skaven have attempted to hire mercenaries in thinking that they would appear within the fort, but they've appeared outside the fort. So these guys are going to get, or these gals, the Amazons, are going to get completely flattened here. Quick exchange of arrows. Maybe they'll kill a thing or two, who knows. But there's actually a lot of bow fire there. Yeah, they won without even going after them. How have they got so many bows? It's mostly looking like they've got some humans, and then they've got a lot of forest goblin archers, which is a good choice. Poison bows. Very useful to have some of those in your army. So that was very one-sided. They killed the forest goblin and the 3 goblin archers. And then it's war. We've been attacked by the beastmen. Those ravening, goat-headed monstrosities have attacked us on our eastern flank. They've gone for Kunnaral, which is, of course, where we were 1 turn away from erecting our fortress guarding that throne. And they've also attacked in north here, which is next to it. Let's go to Kunnaral first. So a significant force in Kunnaral. We have 4 bestial giants. We've got quite a few bestigors. How many is that? 12? I don't know. Lots of the more heavily armoured of the 2 Gore variants. So we've got these ones with protection 13, and then we've got these ones with protection 9. A lot of them have injuries. They're from expansion parties, but also a lot of them have experience. The Giants, for instance, have got 2 experience stars each. So a lot of these guys were used in expansion, so pretty nasty. We've also got a bunch of Minotaurs. Minotaurs are obviously very nasty. Are they going to be blessed, though? I don't think they've got priest. They've got a lot of wargors. Oh, they do have their prophets, so he will be blessing them. And their bless is magic weapons, spirit sight, and undreaming. None of that stuff really worries. I guess magic weapons is relevant for when we're using mist form on our dragon bloods, but for the most part, yeah. Spirit sight is obviously good if we start using any glamour, but we're not going to be doing that. And on our side, we've got a lot of province defense. That's where most of our bulk in the middle is coming from, province defense. We've got some iron body monks. We've got a bunch of terracottas that we moved in at the last moment. I'm really glad I did that. We predicted this attack coming correctly. Got a bunch of archers. We've got a fire rain wagon, and then of course we've got some high quality cavalry. I would say this force capable of knocking that force down. Let us see. The giants are a bit of a wild card. Total whiff there, but the crossbows are definitely going to do some damage. I expect the crossbows to kill quite a lot during this battle, actually. So the heavy cavalry go in and immediately kill a Minotaur. Maybe they'll get 2. Our prophet is present, of course. This is a bit unfortunate. So here, these heavy cavalry are going to die, but this mass of troops will block up the kind of larger amount of their army. We do have two giants and a bunch of besticles on this flank, and nothing to stop them currently. They're going to head straight towards our crossbows, it looks like. Let's go slow on this one. So we've got more crossbows and things coming in. Our infantry makes contact and will do fine up there. Our cavalry is going in from the side. And in the middle, our monks and terracottas have moved down to attack this giant. He will die very quickly to monks. They could quite easily kill a giant. And their high defense should keep them somewhat safe because a lot of his attacks are defense negates. And of course, they have pretty exceptional defense. Ooh, he did hit some stuff there, though. Let's see. Defense roll negating these swings from the giant. But he did stomp on Iron Body Monk. And of course, his fear effect is really getting to us here. But he has died. He was on fire and he's cut down. Heavy cavalry are now falling apart in the middle. Our infantry have got this well in hand and should be able to fight the giants. And now we're attacking the flank as well with these guys. So our other cavalry have come around the back here. So I expect these Ungor raiders to be routed quite quickly. They're from their starting army, I think. That's why they've got this experience stars. And we'll kill this war gore, I imagine. They should do okay on the flank, those dynasts. What's up with this guy? Injured horse, I'm guessing. A crippled horse, that's a shame. On such an expensive unit. So now we've got another giant to deal with. We've got a few more bestigors. The bestigors are getting shot to pieces by the crossbows, which is nice to see. Yeah, so they did reach our backline. We've got a routed Iron Body Monk there. That's due to, morale 20, but still routes. It's due to the fear effect of the giants. So we're pretty satisfied with that. Let's look over here. The Beastmen are starting to rout in the centre. And our cavalry is attacking the back ranks. It looks like we've lost some lancers up on the flank. But some more of them have made it to the back. This is good having these cavalry reach all the way around the back because we've got a chance to kill their prophet here. So he is down to 17 hit points. It's always good to kill off a prophet when you can. And they're now in a full rout. Or maybe we're not going to catch him. Yeah, they didn't get behind him and stop him, unfortunately, and I don't think they're going to. No, they're going to come back here and fight this giant instead, I think. Well, injured the prophet, but didn't kill him. That's a shame. The Ungor raiders are getting chopped to pieces. Got another berserking Minotaur here. It's good to kill off the Minotaurs. They are also very nasty units that we need to get rid of. Look how much protection they have when they go berserk. Oh, another volley. Let's go to full speed. Don't think the Fire Rain Wagon did very much in this battle. It was amazing against Norska, and then against this one, it's not been so good. Quite a lot of Beastmen escaping because they are quite fast. They've got high combat speed. Picking a few off. But some of them, they don't have the best morale, so I would expect that some of them are going to die in the retreat as well. And this giant's going to get caught, right? Has he got a limp? He's a limping giant. So he's not injured at all, but rout isn't limping, so this is a great opportunity to kill a quite expensive and dangerous unit. The cavalry have caught him. In they go, and he's being chopped down. There's going to get blocked here. Yes, he's blocked. And he's paralysed too, or stunned. So he's out of there. Okay, that's everything for that battle. Let's look at the ledger. So 10 Bestigors killed. That's very good. Bestigors are, 15 gold, high quality troops. 3 giants killed. Those are 190 gold each, and very, very scary. So good to get rid of those. 48 Gors. Gors are not cheap. They're kind of similar in cost to the Jade infantry that I have. Maybe a bit cheaper because they are cheaper in gold and then they don't really cost very many resources at all. 4 Minotaurs. Minotaurs are 75 gold each, so that's a significant loss, just like the giants. And then some Ungor raiders. So overall, lots of kills. We lose, obviously our PD takes a mauling, but we don't care about that. We lose a scout commander, which is very annoying because he was the guy who was making the fort. So now it's delayed by a turn. We don't lose it, but it's delayed by a turn because that scout commander dying, and he should have not been involved in that at all. So that was unfortunate. We lose 3 Iron Body monks. 35 gold each. That's not great to lose 3 of them. It's probably to the giant, I think, or maybe a bit of friendly fire. A couple of halberdiers, a lancer. I don't like to lose lancers, but okay. A pikeman. 3 peasant archers doesn't matter. 1 terracotta horseman, 2 terracotta pikemen. So overall, in our actual troops, not a province defense, pretty light losses apart from the 3 Iron Body monks. You can see the Fire Rain Wagoneer was just wretched in that battle, getting 2 kills, and I suspect they might have been friendly fire even. So, just dreadful. The crossbowmen did okay. I was expecting them to do a bit better. I guess these crossbowmen got 8 kills too. And yeah, overall, a lot of our killing was done by just the pikemen and the heavy infantry in the middle just grinding away. Everything else got a little bit of stuff, picked some stuff away. It's interesting to me that my prophet, who was a Jade commander there, didn't get any kills. I guess he was just attacking the giants over and over again. And then the beastmen also attacked us in Northia. This force is, I would say, a bit weaker. It doesn't have the giants and has fewer bestigors. It does have some other stuff going on. It's got some gaves that are sacred, but it doesn't have any priest for them. And it also has a Doom Bull, and he is an equal to Beastie Doom Bull, so very, very high hit points. And Doom Bulls are extremely scary. Doom Bull, you can kind of consider them as good as a giant, basically. Maybe a bit better even, because they're very high protection, and the fact they're sacred. So we would like to get rid of that Doom Bull at some point. This province defense here is not a very good type. It's militia and light infantry with some archers, so they're just going to get flattened. It's 20 province defense, but they're just going to get absolutely, rolled. I doubt they'll kill a single thing. Yep. So that's free experience in a province. It's a shame whenever we lose a province because being Cathay, we want to keep hold of the provinces and never have them switch hands so we get the Imperial Harmony bonuses, but such is life. You can't defend everything. Unexpected event in Kunaral. Dogs, this is caused by the Throne of Beasts, I think, and the same thing in Spring Spire, so we're going to have a couple of battles from there. The Gnawing Rats have turned up in Sulfuria, so we're going to have to put province defense up there to get rid of them at some point and keep the unrest low, and also it could spread out to our other provinces. Dendra Nigra, we get a massive amount of gold. So even though we have misfortune, have been really lucky with gold events. Getting 1,425 gold extra is wild. It's really, really strong. Heat +1 across the world, that's fine. And then we've got 2 dog battles. We've got Kunaral, it's just some feral dogs led by black dogs. We've got a real army here, so that's very one-sided. Let's just ignore that. Didn't lose anything. Oh, we lost a terracotta horseman. Killed all the dogs. Spring Spires. Fewer dogs against another actual army. So, nope. That's dealt with. We're very lucky there with those just attacking where we had good troops. And then we've caught a scout from Middenheim, and we've caught a scout from Altdorf. And we've patrolled down the unrest in Spring Spires as well. So what's happening this turn? Well, in terms of the war, before I say anything else further about it, I should say that I do have some intel that Black Crag is planning to attack the Beastmen, probably along this axis here. I think Black Crag and Bone Nose are both pretty big. They both took half the Skaven territory each. I would rather that Black Crag did not successfully eat Beastmen, because then I would have this massive border with pretty much 2 allied greenskin nations. That would be bad. We are already in this terrible situation of being surrounded by thematic enemies, but they're going to attack them. I don't know that the Beastmen care about that. Maybe they will send their troops back if they get attacked, or maybe they'll just continue attacking me. What I think the Beastmen will do is so they can attack basically these 2 provinces. I don't think they'll split their forces, but they might. I think they'll attack Sulfuria and kind of try and strike for the cap. Beastmen don't have to worry about getting cut off in terms of tracing income, because they've got the tax collector ability, because they're like raiders. I am just going to accept that Sulfuria is going to be lost because the province defense is just slingers, so I'm not, whatever. I've got true Imperial Harmony there, and I've got an Oakwood Tower, so it's not. I don't really want to lose it, but it's not an amazing province. It's a swamp. It's got not great income. Wraither has better income and has much better province defense. It's got crossbowmen, light infantry, and heavy infantry. Very good province defense type, basically. So I'm going to mount a defense at Wraither, but they could, especially if they believe the Orcs are attacking them, which they may have. The Orcs may have already attacked them here, or they may already have the same intel that I do, that the Orcs are going to attack them. They may decide to attack back in Kunaral on their way back, thinking that I will move my forces somewhere else. So I'm not moving all of my forces out of Kunaral. I'm keeping these archers and the fire rain wagon in Kunaral and building the palisade because it didn't complete. I've bumped up the defense more. You may think the defense 50 is crazy, but I had so much gold this turn, and I want to make sure that the Bastion event goes off, and having the higher defense helps with that. And it just gives me a lot of bodies. So those plus the guys that I've left behind, I would think would be able to deal with a force that like double moves from Beastlands because they can go across the farmland really quickly and arrive, or they may be reinforced from north. Yeah, if they move absolutely everything they have against Kunaral, they'd probably take it. But I don't think they'll do that after I just beat them there and showed that I had lots of province defense there. They may attack Wraither, and I have reinforced quite significantly in Wraither. So this is the stuff we've got stacking up there. We've got these guys with missile weapons. We've got lots more infantry and monks. Quite a lot of monks in total there, and our prophet will be there with the heavy cavalry as well, and a bunch more Jade Lancers. So very strong defense in Wraither. If they attack there, I will win. If they attack in Sulfuria, I just accept that and then work out what I'm doing next. I kind of want to play defense here because I know the Orcs are about to attack them. And I'm confident that once I've got my Dragonblood thugs up, I have a very easy time retaking provinces, even when it doesn't look like they can be retaken because they're flying. So I want to kind of hold them in reserve. So both my Dragonbloods are going back to Cathay. There they will pick up items. I'm forging for them flasks of holy water, and my Earth Elementalist is forging Black Steel Barding, which is very strong because their mount is particularly large. Their mount ends up taking a lot more hits, and the Black Steel Barding puts its defense really high. Its defense, its protection value really high. It is expensive, but got to spend money to make money. We're doing some distilled gold with fire gems because we obviously are pushing it a bit on the fire gem front. That's on the gold front. We're really using a lot of it up. I'm tempted to forge something else. What else have I got that I could do? I mean, air gems, but no, we could do more fire. What can I forge in with fire stuff? Mace of Eruption is good for quickly killing things. If you look at what the Dragonblood have, they have a red hot longsword, but it only has the one attack per turn. It is very good, but it's only got the one attack per turn. It would be nice to have 2 attacks or area effect attacks. So I could use Pengza to do a Mace of Eruption. Area effect 1 just lets you kill multiple things. Pretty good. It could be fun to have a Mace of Eruption. I think I'm going to be guided by doing things that are fun. Based on this being something I'm showing to you guys too. Just to get a dragon helmet. Do I have a national discount? Do I recall? Maybe I forgot to do the national discounts for Cathay. I don't actually remember if they've got national discounts. So look that up and maybe let you know next video. It doesn't look like they do. You know what? The Mace of Eruption's fun, so I'm going to forge a Mace of Eruption. That's how we make decisions. I'm moving a lot of other troops just around so that I'm building up a force here in the center of my empire. If they do try and pierce through towards my capital, it's just so inconvenient if they keep knocking over provinces from me and they keep losing the true imperial harmony. It's like, it would be so irritating if they do that, particularly if the Greenskins just attack and take all their stuff and they spend their time attacking me. It's a colossal waste. I wasn't really planning on attacking the Beastmen. I'm kind of building up to something a bit more, defensively and spending my money on infrastructure. But this turn we are recruiting lots of crossbows, some fireworks, because I want to see if I can make them do something, and getting Iron Body Monks. I was going to get an Imperial Astromancer, but I think just the fact that I don't have any Air Elementalists makes me wonder if I should just get Air Elementalists. Or I could get Earth Elementalists because they can cast Strength of Giants for me, which is useful. I actually have the research to do stuff with them. Yeah, but I want to use Astromancers. Again, let's be guided by doing things that are fun. Let's get an Astromancer, because we haven't got one yet. Up in the East, still recruiting Iron Body monks, and we're starting to get mages now because we have a lab up there, so we can start doing Earth Elementalists. And we're doing another alchemy. We need to get that money rolling. So we had so much money this turn that one of the things was I had to send 625 gold to Nekara, but we still had tons of money left. So I actually bid on mercenaries because I think they would be useful in keeping our capital safe. That's basically the plan. Where are the mercenaries? Over here. No, not this Hall of Fame. What are they represented by mercenaries? It's a bag of money or something, isn't it? Yeah, some coins. So I have bid on Guthries Swordsman and Fordo Boggett's Elite Warriors. We're just doing the basic bid on Fordo Boggett's Elite Warriors because they kind of suck. But Guthries Swordsman are 50 swordsmen. Swordsmen are good enough to deal with beastmen, and I'm putting in 300 gold in them. I don't know if I'll win these because other people might want mercenaries at the moment, but maybe we'll win some. If not, we get to save the money and do some more stuff with it next turn. Not putting any extra PD into Sulfuria, it's just getting sacrificed. The other thing this turn is that I wanted to show was that I didn't really realise this. I was like, oh, is Middenheim in a war with Vampiria? I didn't really realise. Well, Middenheim's been almost totally invaded by both Vampiria and Altdorf, a kind of unholy alliance of the Emperor and his lost Elector Count, possibly. But they're not Carsteins, because they're using Harvesters. The like giant bone construct sacreds. I know that they are a Necrarch bloodline that they're using. So yeah, they're Necrarchs, but Altdorf has apparently decided to work with them. I wanted to work with Middenheim, but they didn't respond to me. And now I'm not really in a position, having been invaded, to help them. I was going to send a force to help them, but yeah, not really looking like something I can do. All I can really do here is fortify my borders. What I would do if I wasn't role-playing at all is I might attack and try to steal this province off them, and because I think I could probably hold them with some forces, because people wouldn't want to get into another war over that, and they wouldn't really be in a position to stop me from doing that. But I'm not going to do that. I can see that Middenheim has a big old army there. It's going to patrol, so I'm moving my scout out of there. I'm going to have a look at Mountains of Mist. Yeah, but look at that big old army. A Titan of War and Wisdom. We've got Teutogan Guards, which are very elite guys, State Spearmen, State Crossbowmen, Archers, and White Wolf Knights. And they're going to go down swinging, it looks like. Yeah, not very many provinces left. Is that everything for this turn? I think so. The state of the world, I need more information, really. I need more scouts. Yeah, it's just very inconvenient, this this Beastman attack. Maybe I can free up a little bit of money. You know what? I'm just going to leave it. I think I'm happy with my orders, and we'll just see what happens. I do think that... Why have I left him preaching in there? Is that just because I want somebody there to bless monks? Probably that is why, yeah. More guys coming down here. And more general recruitment. I was recruiting some extra troops here, actually. I'll change this. I was recruiting just some troops in, like, these provinces in case I had a battle in them. But I think it's fine. I'd rather have some more scouts. I've got a scout there coming every turn. I've got a commander over there who's going to pick up some troops. Let's get us... Oh, we've got another scout available. I just want to get some more scouts out in the world so I can see what's going on, because it's interesting for people watching at home as well. Which of these two has the better province defense? Lion Tribe and Nern has... Neither of them has great province defense, I'll put it that way. There you go, I threw an extra archer in there. Spent a bit of gold. Alright, that's everything for this turn. See you next turn. It's turn number 17. Got a couple more thrones claimed. So this is Norska claiming the Throne of Spring. And this is Chaos Dwarves, because it's a Castellan, claiming the lower throne, possibly down in the caves. A couple of castings of Distilled Gold, so we should have plenty of gold this turn. Whiffed on a search. Ulthuan has a new prophet, Dragon Mage of Calador, and Karazakarak the dwarfs have a new prophet, and it's Belagar Ironhammer, one of their unique heroes, one of their most powerful unique heroes. So that's pretty cool, making him a prophet. We've got a battle in Jira, that's the wastelands to the northeast. A very small force led by, is that Centaur Messenger? Yeah. Undreaming. Very strange. So it's actually quite a strong force. Some Minotaurs and this must be things that fled up there. There's no way that he would gather those things together, I think, specifically under that leader. But I really didn't have any problems defense up there. So yeah, a giant and some things. Shame to lose a monk to, with no bless. He's going to do quite well, probably still, just because he's got such ridiculous abilities. He's a 3-starred monk too. What a waste. He gets splattered by the giant. We inflict some afflictions, I guess. We can take some solace in that. But yeah, we lose Jira. That had a fire site in it, so we will want to take that back. And it's just annoying that the Beastmen are still raiding us there. The Black Crag forces have begun their attack on the Beastmen, so we've got a very tough force here. So Black Orcs are not terribly expensive, but I think it's really easy to underestimate just how good they are. They've just got really solid stats. They hit really hard, high morale and everything, and just very high protection. They're just very, very solid troops. He's got some Squig Hoppers, which are much less solid, and I imagine they're going to die. The Beastmen actually have some good stuff here. They've got a bunch of Minotaurs, and they are blessed. So their bless is Magic Weapon, Spirit Sight, Undreaming. Yeah, the Magic Weapon bless not very useful in just a straight fight. But Minotaurs and some Ghosts, they'll definitely kill the Hoppers and kill some Black Orcs, I imagine. But that is enough Black Orcs that I just don't think they can do it. They're just going to get ground down. See, Minotaurs hit very hard, but they don't have very much defense. Their protection's okay, but he hasn't got anything in his bless that makes their protection stronger. The Berserk, once that goes off, their protection shoots up a bit, but we can see they get up to protection 18, but it's not enough against these guys that are doing, 25 damage on the big choppers. And he's got the numbers advantage. So the Black Orcs doing very well there. Black Orcs aren't particularly fast, they've got low combat speed, so the Beastmen do get to swing first, but it's just not enough to kill them because they're high protection. So we see 3 Black Orcs die, but they do an astounding job just chopping through them and killing those Minotaurs. Minotaurs are actually quite a severe loss for the Beastmen. If you look at, they've got a limited number of them because they're their sacreds, but they're also very expensive. They're 75 gold each, so it's the equivalent of me losing 2 of my Iron Body monks. So losing, 5 Minotaurs for not very much damage is not ideal. Mountains of Mist. We have a battle in the snowy hellscape of Middenheim, where they're being eaten by both Altdorf and vampire counts. I wish that I could give them some help, but that's not going to happen. I am too busy. So they've got harvesters, and that's a sprite done by Executor. So thanks to him. They're blessed with morale +1, quickness, which is good on them, and draining weapons. So yeah, pretty scary blessed on the harvesters. They're still very, vulnerable, fragile, but they're very fast, and their offensive output's very good. They do have a lot of hit points. I guess what they'd be kind of vulnerable to is just banishment. A bunch of priests would be very good against them. So this is just Province Defense from Middenheim, and I don't imagine they'll manage to do anything. Yeah, I mean, very straightforward. They don't get experience stars because they are mindless, but an effective win. And then we've got a battle at the Fortress of Skavenblight. This is a big one, so we'll go through the whole thing, even though it's not one of ours. Let's have a quick look. So the Orcs, basically their plan is they've got some humans up front as fodder, and then they're going to hang back, I guess, and hold an attack with these big lines of Orcs. Got a bunch of stuff on guard, bodyguard probably, and then we've got the Warboss Rising, who may be doing hold, attack rear, something like that. He's going to get enlarged and buffed by these Shaman, but really not that much in the way of special stuff. It's just lots and lots of Orcs. We've also got some archers, Forest Goblin archers, regular archers, Forest Goblin archers. Maybe there's some more scattered around that I don't see, but it's not a lot of archers. It's enough that it'll do some damage, but not a lot. The Skaven have got slingers on the walls, which will be very effective. They've got their gate guards, which are just clan rat spears, who I believe are just set to hold attack by default. And then all the way at the back, they've got all their other stuff. So we've got giant wolf rats, giant rats, which are just going to get slaughtered. The giant wolf rats probably will do okay. Some zots, which I don't know why they've got them, but they've got them. Some clan rats, more clan rats, lots of fodder. Some decent quality council guard. We've got some casters, quite a few casters, and some warlords, some storm vermin, a bunch of rat ogres that would be very effective, I imagine, against savage orcs. Lots and lots of poison wind globadiers, because they can summon those up even when they're under siege. That's probably what they've been doing, using their gems on those. The trouble with poison wind globadiers is if they don't target the thing right at the front, they end up running too far forward to throw stuff because their range is so low. Only 14, so they do tend to end up in melee and getting killed there. But they can do a lot of damage because they're armor negating area effect 2 poison damage. Got a bunch of warp fire throwers. That's going to kill a bunch of stuff. And then we've got a bunch of doom flares. Now these are amazing. If you can get the gate blocked up with these, they're great. They would do amazing against the savage orc boys. Extra damage against smaller beings, armor piercing, 2 attacks each, and they've got 2 of those, so 4 attacks per Doomflayer team. And they're surprisingly difficult to kill because of their high defense skill, because of the whirling blades protecting them. So yeah, decent collection of stuff for this game. Got a bunch of ferocity castings. That's from the automatic casting by the Beastmasters. Where are they? Oh, I can't see them, but they're there somewhere. We've got some Strength of Giants coming out, some Animate Dead, Strength of Giants. Strength of Giants is going to be very effective on these types of troops. Oh, I forgot to mention they've got a whole load of Censer Bearers. A lot of Censer Bearers. We can see their Bless is Morale, Blood Surge, Larger, Inspirational, and Leadership. Blood Surge on Censer Bearers, I don't know about that. I don't think they kill things quickly enough and stay alive long enough to make use of that. But they will kill things because they've got the 2 attacks from the Plague Sensor, and they'll poison things. Enlarged, yes, enlarged seems good to get their hit points up. Undying is one people go with a lot on those. Okay, and on the Orc side, some enlarges and things going out. Gift of the Serpent to give poison resistance, presumably over here. Is that what he's doing? Gift of the Serpent? Or is it I can't remember what Gift of the Serpent does. Is it poison resistance? Or is it like in Venom Arrows? I think it's poison resistance. Anyway, the lines clash. Unfortunately for the Skaven, they're not really managing to block this up. They're kind of fighting outside a little bit. You can see these guys are now throwing. The poison is starting to come out. This will be very effective. And some warp fire coming out as well. The orcs will end up getting poisoned in large numbers. In the battle report at the end, it doesn't really show kills by the poison from the poison wind globadier, so they always seem like they've done really badly in the battle reports. But if you actually watch what they do, you can, if I click on one of them, you can see the poison coming out. This is just one attack that's just poisoned tons of stuff with poison damage, so they're very effective. Warpfire throwers now in position. They've got a little bit of a screen, but not really enough to keep them alive. It'd be better if they were behind the rats. But their Warpfire attacks, so let's look at that one they just fired. You can see their Warpfire attacks are very effective. This is a whole bunch of dead Savage Orcs. The Orcs have encircled them and reached the walls, and so these guys... Yeah, there they go. Ooh, that's loud. So when they die, Warpfire throwers, they explode. So we're going to have a bunch of chain reaction explosions here, which is going to kill a bunch more Orcs. You can see the regen coming up from the War Boys. They've got that regen bless. Of course, the invulnerability on the Savage Orcs, they all have invulnerable basically of various different levels, and they've got a little bit of toughness as well. But that invulnerability doesn't do anything against poison damage. It doesn't do anything against the warp fire damage either. So at this point in the battle, I would say Orcs probably wish they had more ranged units. Have we got the... What's happened to the Wyvern Rider? We might have to rewatch that because I have completely lost track of him. He might have gone and got himself killed already. Can we see the... What's the command for... We want team-coloured squares and the grid, I think. So we'll do grid and team-coloured squares so we can see a bit better. And then I believe we can look... Is it just commanders? Grimdrag the Orc War Boss is dead. So let's see what happened to him. He went and attacked the back. He killed a clan rat. He killed a soulless warrior. Got hit with Word of Stone. I mean, he got surrounded, you can see. He must have been paralyzed because he's not doing anything in these bits here. He resisted the effect. Oh, maybe not. Maybe he just got surrounded. He was at the back. A greater Packmaster. Oh, with Warplash. Does that mean they've got Squeal Gnawtooth? I didn't notice that. I'll tell you what, after I've watched this battle, let's come back and see what happened with that, because I'm curious to know what happened. So a lot of Sensibearers have died, but they've got a lot left. Every time the Sensibearers swing, they end up poisoning a lot of stuff. So a lot of these orcs at the front here have got poison, they're injured, they're going to die off. The slings are still doing a lot of damage, and they've now basically secured this front bit, and they're going to take the gate. Lots of them are frenzied. That is the thing with Savage Orcs. Oh, looks like we've got a routed Big Boss rising there, and he's covered in poison, so I think he's going to die on the retreat. Some Rat Ogres and Sensibearers holding up the gates. This is where it gets really nasty. This is what the Skaven really ideally wanted, and then they'd have their like war engines shooting in from the sides. But I think they didn't quite get their scripting right for that. Because that'd be great if this was blocked up and you just had Warp Fire Throwers and Poison Wind Globadiers just throwing here. It still did good damage. So now we get some Doomflayer teams coming forward, and I imagine that they're going to do very well in that gap. That's perfect for them, basically. The Orcs just, you know, they're kind of stuck, and they're taking slingshots, and they're taking a bit of poison. They haven't really got their highest, you know, output guys at the front. They've just kind of got Savage Orc boys and stuff. I mean, they are killing Skaven. We've got their missile units routing. That's the problem with goblins. They will eventually just rout. And in come the Doomflayer teams. Let's have a look. So yeah, Whirling Blades. Slap, slap, slap. And they're repelling things as well. Got some goblins at the front there. They ran out of arrows. So they're getting involved. They're just going to get annihilated. They're not going to achieve very much. We've got a lot more routing happening here. Still got a lot of orcs, but it's really a decreasing number. Lots of Sensibearers, and they're all berserk, so they're not going to run. And the Rat Ogres are basically all berserk too, so they're not going to run either. And the troop quality here is quite good, including these Doomflayers, which, as predicted, are doing rather well for themselves. Killed, 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 killed. You know, getting kills like crazy. The big uns coming in here. Lots of tough units. Warboys and big uns definitely capable of fighting their way through this gate, potentially. I can't see that the Orcs can do it at this point. Not enough. They're slowly just getting chipped away by the slingers, and yeah, just not enough offensive firepower to get through there. And they're starting to rout, so... Whereas the Skaven are mostly still berserked, the remaining troops. Quite a defense by the Skaven. Some scripting errors, but still very, you know, very impressive to fight that many Orcs. A huge, huge army. Let's go on double speed. Just watch. It's a real meat grinder. But the Doomflayers are doing amazing. I mean, how many kills does this now have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12... 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 kills and counting for this one Doomflayer here. We've got some Storm Vermin coming in. They're going to do okay. Some Rat Ogres now. The Rat Ogre's going to do just fine in the gate there. I think it's just down to the Berserk guys now. Bone Nose is routed, but lots of their troops have gone Berserk, so they're just going to stay and fight. I mean, this Doomflare must have a lot of kills as well. And the Skaven must have a lot of kills. I mean, if I just look at a random, the slingers rather, if I just look at a random slinger, it's mostly wounding rather than killing, but the damage output is there. And that's it. So Skaven's still in probably a terrible position. I imagine they're still sieged because Bono's probably left a scout or something on the outside. But defeated there. So I said I'd re-watch that because we want to see what happens to the boss. So we're going to watch him. He's quite high value and he's got, a lucky coin. He cast enlarged on him. Do they cast ferocity on him? Don't think so. Slight advantage to the Skaven from the fact they're in a cave as well, the darkness. It doesn't affect the greenskins that much, but more so than the Skaven. So this to me looks like hold, attack rear. Or hold, attack rear. There he goes, he's in the back. So he does obliterate some clan rats, but I think he just gets himself surrounded. And he gets decayed. They just cast decay on him straightforwardly. But I think the problem is it's not so much the war boss, he's not getting hit, but the Wyvern's defense skill is really low because he's harassed down very quickly, and he's only got 15 protection. So even though he's lucky and causes fear, it's not. Put it on slow. He's also attracting all these Word of Stone castings because he's closer. And do these guys have Strength of Giants cast to them? I know something does. There's your Molden Mutator. I was really interested because I thought they had Squeal. They do have Squeal Gnawtooth there. Yeah, so that's where they had a bunch of rats from as well. With Squeal. Look at this big lad. I mean, the Wyvern went down, but he's still in. He's got very high protection. He's good. He's just going to get harassed down. And the fact that he's decayed and taking these spell attacks is bad for him too. So there goes Squeal. Squeal whips him. And he's got a huge amount of poison damage applied to him now. I think that is from Squeal hitting him. If we click on him. Where are we? Warp Lash hit him. Words of Stone hit him. Let me have a look at Squeal. Not that. Yeah. Hit him with strong poison from the Warp Lash attack. There you go. National hero is very powerful. And that's just going to wear, even if they don't kill him in the meantime, that's going to wear him down. Well, there you go. So, the battle report, what do we see? Warboss Rising not very effective in the end. They lost one of their Savage Orc big bosses, so they lost some significant leadership, the opportunities to get some wars. The archers did okay, got some kills. A lot of them will have retreated. Ordinary Forest Goblins didn't really do anything. Forest Goblin archers got some kills, of course. This is what they kind of needed more of, I think, is more archers. Arrow Boys would have been good. They did have some Savage Orc Arrow Boys, and you see they did get some kills. They just needed more of that. But yeah, the big story is tons of boys and biggins, and they died a lot more than they killed because they were just standing there getting shot with things, getting poisoned. It just turned into an absolute charnel house near the gates. We've also got a bunch of wild boys lost. They're 16 gold each. They're not, very expensive, but they are sacreds. Hard to replace those kind of losses. Obviously, the Skaven are still in a terrible position though, and they have, in terms of their guarding forces, they've lost over half of their censer bearers. They've lost over half of their clan rats. They lost half their Doomflare teams. Look at that. 5 losses, 59 kills. Very effective. They lost tons of giant rats and wolf rats. They were just kind of fodder holding up the gate there. They did get some kills though. The Globadiers, you can see, did they really get 3 kills? No, they got way more than 3 kills. It was just that the poison's not counted from the poison wind. So they definitely did better than they appear to have there. Rat Ogres did okay. Storm Vermin, of course, not very many of them, but they did okay. And then the Warpfire Throwers, 9 of them died, but they killed 80 things. So could have been scripted slightly better, but it is hard. It's very difficult to know exactly what's going to happen. And look at that. That's the Wall Slingers, just the common Skaven Slave Slinger, and they got 52 kills during that battle. Very effective. A couple of events. We got attacked by werewolves. We got attacked by doggos, and in Miratrand we got an assassination attempt. So let's watch that. It's a scout, so who cares what happens? Probably he's going to win because a dog is just a dog. You know, low hit points, not very good stats. Tends to struggle fighting a human. Yep, gets staggered. A worldwide event, heat +1. Okay, that's not terrible. And then we get 2 battles, Spring Spires and Dunes of Death. Spring Spires is the dogs, and we've got an army there, I think. Oh no, we've just got some Province Defense, but it's enough Province Defense because they are just dogs. Yeah, there we go. And then Dunes of Death, I imagine we will lose because werewolves are tough and we don't have very much Province Defense. This is like 10 Province Defense, but this is low quality stuff, right? It's militia, some light infantry. Maybe we didn't even have 10 there. And werewolves, while they're not very high protection, are 3 attacks from each of them, attack skill 12, and they're relatively damaging attacks. So against things that don't have that much protection, they go straight through them. They've also got, decent hit points, and they've got regen, and in Vuln, actually, the protection, I forgot they've got invulnerability 15, so they're pretty nasty. They're kind of like uber medium infantry. Appropriate that's happening near the Norscan border. We got our palisades up, which was delayed by a turn, but thank God we finally got that up. Or thank the dragons, I should say. And we've got our fortress completed on the east. That's our upgrade. And we got Gifra's swordsman. So the plan this turn, we're playing very conservative and defensive. As I have said, we've seen that the Beastmen have not pushed their attack, possibly because they knew about the orcs attacking them. I did try to tip them off about that, but they still continued to attack us. So we're going to retake our 2 provinces. I was considering kind of hitting all along here. We've got flyers, flying thugs. We could do it. But I'm going to play conservative to make the Beastmen focus more on the Greenskins, and then maybe we'll do a hit on them up in the northern bit away from where the Greenskins are fighting. I'm not sure. I don't want to overstep. Cathay is a nation where it's really to our benefits to play conservatively, I think. But we'll try and get some interesting stuff going. So Jira, we're attacking with basically an all-ranged force. We've got crossbows, shortbowmen, a firing wagon, and then a bunch of our lantern soldiers. The hope there is that they move out that giant, probably, and we're just fighting province defense, and we'll just splatter it. I think they were just doing that on their way out, like gathering those troops up. They're probably going to want to move them back down here and get back together with the rest of their forces, but who knows, maybe they'll send more forces up there. We've got a big force here. I don't imagine it will end up in either of the provinces we're attacking, but it might do. Down in Northia, we're attacking with some infantry as a backup, but basically we're just going to rely on our medium cavalry and heavy cavalry to punch through the middle and just kill whatever's left behind there. It should just be some province defense and leftover Ungor raiders. I'm debating about this. This is actually kind of annoying. I really want to get my prophet over to Spring Spires to claim that throne. It would be very useful to me. So I do want to do that, but also I don't have the leadership to move. I want to get these forces in position to fight the Beastmen if we need to. I'm not sure. I think what I'm going to do is I am going to make the decision here to leave behind these forces, basically. Maybe I can. Ooh, that's a good question. These have got very high map move, terracotta soldiers. If I attach them to him, can he still get where he's going? Yes, he can. So we can put some terracottas there as well. That's worth doing. And they're immune to fire, so they don't need to worry about the lanterns and the firing and stuff. So that'll help in Jira just in case it's a bit more there than we were expecting. But yeah, my prophet needs to go back and get that other throne. So I'm going to change what I'm doing here. I'm going to take these troops and just leave them behind. We'll put those over here, but the rest of them we'll just leave behind. And some other leader will come and pick them up. Simple as that. We'll also have a monk take over a bunch of these into Kunaral. But yeah, we've got more leaders coming in. I believe I've got Mu King's coming in. Giffrey's also moving into there, but that's not going to be of any use. And I think I'll put an extra leader in there just to give me a bit more flexibility. But what we need then is to get Abbot Priest. So we're moving some over from here because we need Abbot Priest to replace our Prophet. We really don't want those monks fighting without a bless. Ideally, we would be using our Prophet for it, but we need to get him over here and have him take over Spring Spires. Claim the throne. So we're just going to do that. He's going to return back, and in case he gets caught out in the open, I don't know, put it back here. Hopefully, Province Defense will keep him safe. I was moving my forces over here to help, but I think given that they're now being attacked, and I'm wary of this border being attacked, and I want to get a fort up in Spring Spires to protect that throne, I'm instead going to move my force back, and they're just going to patrol over in Spring Spires. It doesn't have the most province defense at the moment. It could do with a little bit more actually in case there is an event. So we're just going to do that. To take the Dunes of Death back, we are sending a very minimal force. It's just some couple of monks leading some infantry and some iron body monks and some swordsmen. That should be enough to beat the werewolves. How many werewolves was it? Basically 7 werewolves and a couple of leaders. Is that going to be enough? Am I being a fool? These are very good quality troops, and obviously the monks are really good. But I really want to be safe in beating those werewolves. Perhaps I'm underestimating what would be required to beat those werewolves. I feel like, again, we should just play this conservatively. So instead of moving this stack back, maybe what I'll do is switch these guys over. You can take a bunch of those. So then you will take those to Spring Spire, and New You will take you and New You. That's funny. He will just make sure that there's forces in Dunes of Death. Now we don't have very many monks there, so what I can actually do is just move Bashir to join up with the forces over here where we need more monks. So I'll just have him move over there. So that should do the trick. I mean, we'll lose some stuff to the werewolves, but that's fine. But yeah, we'll make sure that we win that one. And then we're forging wise this turn. We're forging another Black Steel Barding because it's really fun. We've got one on Haoshian's Longma. You can see it takes the protection up to 25. Very effective. And we've given him the Mace of Eruption and we've given him the Flask of Holy Water, so he's permanently blessed. They've both got a Flask of Holy Water, and next turn they're both going to have Rings of Water Breathing. I did a tiny amount of alchemy just to get enough water gems, just one extra water gem out of 2 astral pearls, so that I could do 2 rings of water breathing, so they're both ready. And then they'll go in together, just because I'm being extra cautious, and we'll knock over Narian Sea, and then we'll probably go and knock over Boat Eater and maybe Embracer. I don't think that there's going to be that much to contest us there. There could be, but certainly Narian Sea would be the first one to knock over. And you get good gold income from that, 163. Yeah, I'm building palisades over here now. That was obviously a big investment this turn, and I'll need to get a temple there. I'll need to get a temple over in Kunaral when I can. I'm moving, more priests down there. And recruitment-wise, we're getting some air elementalists. I'm getting more monks. I'm getting a couple of Ogre Eastern Man-Eaters because that's, I think, the only thing out of all of these forces I haven't made yet. So just having some of those, maybe I'll have them bodyguard my Pretender or something. Research-wise, we're going to do enchantment, alteration level 3, because at level 3 we can get personal iron skin, that's the main one. It's a couple of other things, but basically personal iron skin. And then we're going to go up conjuration level 3 to get summon earth power and a few other bits. And then we could go and get summon Onyx Chroman if we wanted to. We do have some air gems that we could turn into Onyx Chroman, which would be a useful thing to have as a rapid response force. Cool, that is quite enough for this turn. I've gone on a bit too long, so I will see you on the next one. It's turn number 18. Found a magic site. Well of white water. That's 1 water gem per turn. So that's nice to find. A whiff there. Then we've got some battles. We've got Mooforth. So Black Crag attacks with some Orc Boys up front, which is good for taking on charge attacks, I guess, blunting those. Then we've got a whole load of Black Orcs. We've got some Goblin Archers behind. They've got experience stars, and maybe from an early promotion or from the expansion party, maybe, I guess. And then we've got the Commander, Black Orc Big Boss, and they've got some bodyguards as well, which is sensible because Beastmen are quite capable of doing flank attacks. And then on the Beastmen side, we've got the more armored Gors. More armored Gors, some of them have experience stars, some heavy infantry for province defense, and more Gors, some of them have experience stars, and a few war Gors as well, and some archers. This looks like an Orc victory to me. They're outnumbered, but Black Orcs, primarily just because they're very high protection, because of the the armor and things they've got that the Beastmen don't have, just have the advantage. Also, I'm seeing a lot of experience stars. Yeah, Black Orcs with experience stars will beat Gors, but I'm expecting to see some casualties on both sides. And those Orc Boys are toast, because they are faster than the Black Orcs, and these Gors are just going to pile straight through them. Gors have do not have a charge attack, unlike the Orcs. So Orcs are actually better on the charge, but they're just not going to survive, those Orc Boys. Particularly these ones who don't have shields. Yeah, Gors can beat up Orc Boys without much issue, but much less getting against Black Orcs. And you can see they're kind of piling up. They've managed to wrap around. Here we've wrapped around, so these Black Orcs might get killed, but they have shields. They've got the shielded ones on the edge, which is quite effective. Some troops leaking through and going for the rear, but they've got bodyguards. They'll probably be fine. We've already lost the Gors in the middle. These ones down here have killed some Black Orcs. They're thinning. The herd is thinning up there. And we've got some War Gors. This one has now decided to run. We have some War Gors at the back. They could maybe have gotten involved in the fighting, but they'd probably have died. But they're very decent. They do a lot of damage. War Gors. They are quite capable of mixing it up in melee. Yeah, so some did get through, but if they'd got to the archers, they would have done a bit more damage. But we've got a Black Orc Big Boss fleeing as well. They nearly did some damage back here, these guys. But that's it, they're routed. Yeah, they got to the boss. There's definitely some injuries. One of the things with the Black Orcs, of course, is being Orcs. They have recuperation, so they can heal from their injuries. And, that pairs very nicely with units that have the protection such that they don't tend to die when they get hit. We've got ones with 1 hit point, diseased, but he can survive because of the recuperation. It is possible. So a bad one for the Beastmen there, I think. We've got 44 dead Orc Boys. They're about 8 gold each, yeah. 1 dead Biggin, and then we've got only 15 dead Black Orcs. I mean, they're 16 gold apiece. You compare them with the Gors, who are 12 gold, they are more expensive, but 127 Gors, more than double the number of Black Orcs, and they couldn't get it done. Yeah, but they did slaughter the Orc Boys. The Orc Boys got some kills, 18, but 44 of them in the ground. That's something the Gors can cope with, and I think that was kind of a reasonable usage of them from Black Crag, sticking them up there, blunting the charge a bit. Battle at Skavenblight. It's the revenge of the Skaven. So, what are they sending? We've got loads of these Censer Bearers who survived the battle. That's a lot of Sacreds, they're pretty good. And then we've got a lot of Rat Ogres, also pretty scary. So lots of Berserk troops with multiple attacks and high damage. And then we've got some Rats. Squeal should be here. Yeah, here's Squeal. 5d6 Giant Rats, 5 Rats at the side every battle. So every time he's in a battle, you get tons of Rats. And they brought some Wolf Rats. We've got a few weapons teams, not very many. Some Doom Flayers and some Water Fire Throwers. And the Savage Orcs have got the remains of their army. I think they were probably feeling like they could siege and get some reinforcements here, rather than the Skaven storming out. But they've really not got that much here. They've got, some okay quality Savage Orcs. We've got some experience stars. Yeah, we've got a fair few experience stars on these Savage Orcs. They've got some big uns, Savage Orc big uns, heavy infantry, some archers mixed in, some more big uns with experience stars. They're going to be pretty good. You know, all these experience stars is a good sign for them. Pretty. I would have to say I favour the Skaven. The reason being just the troop quality. Um, and they're troops that are good against this type of enemy. You know, the Savage Orcs don't have the best protection. They've got some invulnerability, like protection against mundane, 9, and the big uns a bit more, I believe. Let's have a look at a big un. 10 protection against mundane, but it's still fairly light. And they're up against things that hit very hard and have multiple attacks. I mean, that's the crucial thing, is that each of these Rat Ogres has 2 attacks. Each of these guys hits twice with the Plague Sensor. And they're all going to be berserking on the Skaven side, so the morale issue will fall on the Savage Orc side. A bunch of them do berserk as well. We've also got this potential for these Warpfire Throwers to do some damage up front. So we've got Ferocity being cast automatically. Ferocity is +2 attack skill, +2 morale. Very good for getting around repels, and obviously +2 attack skill is actually really significant on Rat Ogres, so that's very useful. On the other side, nothing really. We're going to get some smites, and that's about it, I imagine. So the rats up front, taking some arrows, that's fine. Here come the Sensor Bearers. So Sensor Bearers first, and then we'll get the Rat Ogres following up after that. Why are these Rat Ogres so slow? Oh, they're probably... Let's have a look. Have we got a Molder Master Mutator here? We've got Tight Rain on Gnawtooth. And Gnawtooth's got a great Beastmaster value. He's really good at leading these guys, and I guess a bunch of them are probably put on Guard Commander to keep them back, which is sensible. Again, flank attacks could be a thing. They're attempting one with this Boar Boy. It's just not really enough cavalry, is there? It's only a little bit. So Warpfire Throwers are firing some hits, and they're going to continue to fire. Sensor Bearers are going to do a huge amount of damage when the lines crash. Yeah, look at that, just obliterating that front line. Wolf Rat should do fine on the flank. Bit of friendly fire, but effectively some killing of stuff going on there too. And this is where your Rat Ogres will just completely stomp through these. A lot of these Wolf Rats and things, oh, they're all messed up. Some of them should have gotten some Fury cast on them as well. Yeah, there we go. And I mean, once they've got that, it's a pretty decent attack skill and okay damage. Sensor Bearers obviously taking a bunch of casualties. They are themselves not very tough. But they have killed most of the centre. Oh, we've got a Big Boss Rising coming in here. And he is quickly polished off by Rat Ogres. And I think the Rat Ogres now are, you know, this group of them is more than enough to chew through these and kill these archers. And, you know, the fact they're all berserking. So we're seeing some pretty big losses for the Skaven. You know, particularly tons of Sensor Bearers died. But they've routed them, and they're going to get a lot of kills on these guys too, because Skaven are fast. They're faster than the things that are running away from them, so a bunch of them are going to get chomped. No, they didn't catch that many. A couple of extras. So what do we think? I mean, all of this is good news for us. It's nice to see Skaven go down swinging. They lost almost all of their Sensor Bearers, but look at those kills. 84 kills, I mean, my word. Warpfire Throwers getting 21, but a bunch of that was friendly fire too, maybe half of it. Rat Ogres, I mean, look at this. This is how you use Rat Ogres. Only 4 lost, 41 kills. They just obliterated the stuff that was in front of them. We get some more kills there. The Doomflare teams are probably on a Guard Commander. So this wasn't actually a big commitment by the Skaven. They didn't send like all their mages or anything out there. They knew they could break it, and they did the thing. We got a Big Boss and a War Boss dead. That's bad for the Savage Orcs, and they get kicked off the capital. You know, that's really good for this game. They get a turn of recruitment, they get a turn of income, and so on. Well done to them. It's a temporary reprieve, I imagine, because it's the only province they have, but well done to them. We go to take the Dunes of Death back from the werewolves. This should be very straightforward. The werewolves are using their regeneration to try and overcome the crossbow bolts that they just got pelted with, and then they're just going to get chopped up in combat. We definitely lost a couple of troops there. The Jade Pipe and the Jade Swordsman. Oh, well, Celestial Guard. These guys love dying. I don't know what it is. Battle in Jira, taking this back from the Beastmen. Just some Province Defense. We can skip that probably. I lost a few Terracotta guys. Oh well. Northia. Another one for the Beastmen. So the Beastmen fully pulled back. Obviously, with Black Crag attacking them, they just cut their losses and turned tail and ran. And it's entirely sensible. It's what I told them they should do, basically. And they agreed. I don't know that we're going to attack them this turn, but it's good to get these provinces back into the fold. We see a battle in Golem range. This is a scout pinging a throne. The throne is pretty scary. Experienced starred forest trolls in very large numbers. And a couple of... Ooh. Slanesh would like to get in there, right? With Seducers. 12 morale. All these gems, all these paths. That would be such a good one for Slanesh to get to. Sulfuria, we get an event. Unrest +3. Unpleasant, but okay. That's bad because I think we have rats in Sulfuria and we need that unrest low to get rid of them. We get a Bastion in Kunaral, finally, very nice. We get an unexpected event in Kunaral, we lose our Dominion, okay. And then we get 3 worldwide events. So the first one, Mastema, Dweller in Shadows, has entered this world. He is a Heliophagus, so a light eater. There have been signs of his presence in Elder Hill. Unless found, he will walk the earth and sow his evil across the land. So somebody's got a Heliophagus rampaging in their land. I think from the chatter in the Discord it was Slanesh, but we'll see. Maybe. We'll hear about it. Then we've got the gate to hell has been opened. So this is where this is in conjunction with the Heliophagus. Heliophagus. An unholy darkness covers the world. The gate must be closed by the power of prayer, or the demonic influence will continue to grow. So, big story event here. Affects the entire world. Everywhere gets turmoil, which is bad for us. Everywhere gets constant darkness, which massively impacts income. And battles now have to be fought under the cover of darkness, which is good for people with dark vision, but that's not us. So, the Terracotta guys, I think, can handle it, but the rest of my troops are going to be suffering from that, so that's bad. But at least the Throne of Beasts has stopped kicking out werewolves and dogs attacking everything. We also foresee a major event with an Astromancer. 3 months' time, everywhere's going to get a bunch of growth from from Gaia, so that's okay. You can see now the map's gone a kind of dingy colour because of the darkness that's fallen everywhere, and we had a lot less money this turn, a lot less. It felt like half what I would normally have. So we're not able to do so much this turn. In terms of our recruitment, we're just kind of doing the minimum. We're getting the Iron Body Monks where we can, because they, half upkeep, and we want as many Sacred as we can. They're very useful. We're not doing any recruitment over in Kunaral. We just can't afford it. So the 2 things I'm doing this turn, really, I'm moving some forces back because I want to re-guard Spring Spires, because Middenheim has been totally eaten by the Vampiria. Apparently Altdorf helped them. It's a shame we didn't get any diplomacy with Middenheim. They didn't respond when we contacted them on Discord. I was talking to some other people, and we agree that Vampiria's Bless is scary. I was looking at it before, and I wasn't that convinced by it, but Harvesters, they had... what was it? We've got known blessers, don't we? Where do known blessers appear? I've totally forgotten. Do you click on the... Is it on the temple? Bless effects? No, that's ours. Is it in Pretentious of the World? It is in Pretentious of the World. Yeah, we know their blessing is draining weapons, so they can get their health back, and quickness. And they have 2 attacks each, the Harvesters, so 4 attacks around, and they can drain their health back, which they can't normally do. And they attack super hard. And they're fragile. They've only got 9 protection. I think magic resistance 12, something like that. But they're... actually, we can look at them, can't we? If we go to look at the Necroc Capital Recruits, here they are. They've got the Scythe that hits for 27, incredibly hard hit, and it's long. which gets it around various things, like fire shield, stuff like that. And also a powerful claw attack. So hard hitting, mindless, very fast. No fatigue, of course, from the quickness. Yeah, an interesting and really cool bless. So we appreciate that build. Very interesting. What would we do against it? I've been thinking about that. Fire elementals, tons of ranged fire. Try and use the Iron Body monks to kind of use solar weapons against them and fight them as much as possible. But yeah, lots of fire would be good. Fire rain wagons, fire elementals, firecasters. They don't have fire resistance at the moment, but they'll get it at some point. They've got the mages to be able to do it. They've made a Necroc capital, and they're going to get a second capital, which is very strong for Vampiria. Vampiria and Norsca are the two nations that really like a second capital because it opens up more special recruitment for them. So what we're doing this turn, moving our forces back over here, kind of gathering them back up. You can say Three Pine Grove is getting a bunch of them. We're going to move them to Spring Spires because I need to protect that throne in the palisade that's being built there. It's got another 4 months on it, so we do need to get over there. Something could just walk in otherwise, like the worm that Altdorf has conquering Water Provinces could go in. Vampires potentially could go in at some point. I mean, at the moment, Middenheim's still got this province. Ordinarily, if I weren't role-playing at all, I might just go, well, Middenheim's dead, and just pick that off with an army strong enough that I can be like, that's mine. I don't care what the rest of you did. I took that. So that's now mine. Because I'm role-playing, we would not do that. We respect the people of Middenheim in their struggle as they die. We didn't have good diplomatic relationships or any diplomatic relationships with them, so we didn't get to help them. But we don't like to see this. Our neighbours becoming vampires, Norsca. So yeah, a bunch of blood-crazed undead, a bunch of war-crazed maniac Vikings, a bunch of insane chaos beasts that are being eaten by a bunch of deranged greenskins, and then a group of even more deranged savage greenskins. So that's, thematically not looking amazing for Cathay. So we're gathering troops there. We're gathering some more troops in the centre just to respond to being attacked by whatever. And we're moving our two Dragonblood Lords into the Narian Sea. So they're going in the corner. We've got on the one with air magic, they're doing personal Mistform, personal Stone Skin because they will have all the paths for doing elemental stuff. Ice Shield. Ice Shield is the same as Flying Shield, but it's underwater. So it's cool that they can cast that. Over here, personal Stone Skin and Ice Shield as well, but Water Shield they're also using, which gives +5 defense when they're underwater, and the defense is actually fairly important for them because they've already got high defense. The mounts don't, but they've got super high protection. It's the riders have super high defense. So having even more will let them get away with stuff. So that should be fine. I mean, it could go wrong. We could get poked up and poisoned or something by these Atlantean militia, but I believe that should be a fairly easy stomp. And then they can fly from there to a fairly easy stomp in Blue Beauty, and then maybe do Boat Eater and Embracer, depending. Tritons are tougher. Shark Tribe Titans I'm less concerned about. Triton Troopers and Triton Knights I'm somewhat concerned about, and Triton Troopers are tougher too. So this is the easiest one we're starting with, and we'll just have to see what the performance is. We're also moving a bunch of troops over to Kunaral because we probably should take some Beastmen provinces. We're pulling back from Jira because that doesn't really lead anywhere, but we could. It depends where the orcs end up. We could probably just try to go across this bit. We could also redirect our Dragonbloods from fighting in the sea. They could fly over and hit some far provinces if we wanted to. I'm still going to play fairly conservatively, particularly now that everything's fallen into darkness, because that is an advantage for people who are not us. I believe if we look at the Beastmen lineup, yeah, they don't have dark vision. Beastmen don't go dwelling in caves and things like greenskins do, so they just don't have dark vision. So it's actually a disadvantage to them. I think they've got, well, maybe the Warhounds should have dark vision. I'll look into that. I don't know that Dominions gives dogs dark vision, which they should perhaps have. But greenskins certainly have dark vision. If we look at the Black Orcs, they got dark vision 50. I would certainly consider knocking their dark vision down. I don't know if dark vision 25 is really a thing in the game, but orcs don't really live underground that much. They do kind of live around caves and mountain forts and stuff, but they prefer to be on the surface. It's more the goblins that live underground, and particularly night goblins. Anyway. Yeah, that's everything for this turn. So kind of a conservative turn. We'll just have to see how things work out. Obviously, we're continuing to research and build stuff up. Our research is going to be an enchantment, and then alteration for some useful bits in alteration like personalized skin. And then we're moving over to conjuration to go for the earth power and a few other things there. We should get some more dragon bloods. If I had more money, I would do it, but we don't have more money. How much money would we have if we didn't get these? We'd only be 200 off getting a Dragon Blood Lord. I am very tempted to just get another Dragon Blood going because they're so cool. Am I going to make a weird sudden decision to do that? I don't think I can justify. I need those monks. They're so useful, and stockpiling them is really good. And if we get attacked by the undead in particular, they're very strong. Hmm. No, I think I'll be sensible. So we were getting an air elementalist, and we were getting a earth elementalist. I think. What are we short on? Got a bit of everything. That's fine. Okay. Let's see what happens next turn. It's turn number 19. A somewhat eventful turn, but not so much for me. 10 fire gems from Hekara are going to turn those into alchemy and take our cut off the top. It's only 10 this time because I don't want my mages to just be doing that. They've got other stuff to be doing, and I need to get my research rolling. Speaking of which, research enchantment completed. We've got it to level 4, so I can cast my terracotta summons. There's a couple of other cool spells in there. Cast is still gold for 375 gold. We're going to be doing that this turn as well with these fire gems from Neokara. Found a magic site in North here. Mineral Cave is just 1 earth gem per month, but it's nice to find magic sites. Whiffed on another search. We're getting like 1 magic site a turn at the moment on magic searches, and we're kind of finding one, whiffing 1 or 2. Vampiria has got a new prophet. And then we get some battles. So first battle is Middenheim sallying out of their fort against Vampiria, which is quite a strange decision. They're throwing absolutely everything out, which makes me think they're just trying to kind of like have a big battle, end the game maybe. It's hard to say what they're expecting to happen here, but their sally out is it's a good force. But they've done it during darkness, so if you look at the stats in their guys, they've all got a very significant malus. Whereas, if you look at Vampiria, they don't care. Darkness is in their favour. So Vampiria's force is really, they've got some Graveguard, but it's really just the Harvesters. You've got that very scary bless of quickness and drain weapons. Bunch of blessings go off. So they are casting a bunch of stuff. They're using this is something I did when I played Middenheim as well. Is group Barkskin. It's a really good idea with all these amber wizards. They toughen up their troops. I think the problem they're going to have is firstly darkness is going to be a real problem for them. Secondly, they've got a lot of just guys. So like they got tons of state spearmen, right? State spearmen will do nothing against harvesters, and they will just allow the harvesters to heal because the harvesters drain weapons are just going to jump through them. So they really, I think it's worse than being there than not being there almost. I mean, we'll see. I would say that all of these crossbows, they've got a lot of state crossbowmen. I think they're going to be fairly useful. Lots of group Barkskin and Aldous Fury, very good. We're obviously going to have some banishment castings and things. Now, let's pause for a second and see these various commanders that they've brought. If I just go to commanders. So we've got a bunch of Amber Wizards. We've got Emil Valgeir, the R. Ulrich. So he is a Holy 3. Obviously, Vampira's got Death Cultist. And then they've got multiple. I mean, Emil Valgeir is a unique hero. So is Boris Todbringer, the Electocant of Midland. That's probably where a lot of their troops came from, the Spearmen. I think Boris comes with a bunch. Rain Volkard, the Grandmaster of the White Wolves, another kind of unique guy. Oh, he's the prophet, isn't he? The state captain, yeah. And then we've got Athena, the Titan of War and Wisdom there, casting some things. What's she casting? Oh, she's just going to try and thug. But I think if she doesn't have any items, that's not going to be... Yeah, she doesn't have any items. So she's got awareness, affliction resistant, reinvigoration. That's their bless. Um, it's an odd bless. They don't have any sacreds, so maybe they were planning on doing something clever with that. I'm not sure. I mean, they've made a pretty good thug here, high protection and everything. I don't know that it's going to work very well against harvesters. I'm just going to slow this way down. So this is definitely a mistake, this scripting. The Grandmaster's come out on his own and has to fight a bunch of harvesters, and obviously they are going to chop him up. That's pretty straightforward. I mean, just very high attack skill on these guys. So the harvesters are going to kill the Grandmaster without much difficulty. He's just surrounded. If he'd been... And these are kind of disrupted here, these White Wolves. So the crossbow bolts and the banishments are going to be good. In goes the god. I think a harvester died, but you can see the harvesters are not having any problem. They're just killing these spearmen. I think the White Wolves are probably going to kill a couple of them, and the banishment's going to hurt them. And all of these crossbow shots, which there are a great number of, they're going to do some good damage to the harvesters. So the god's coming up the middle. Boris is sat back. I think that this god doesn't have an attack animation. Oh, which hasn't done anything yet, so would we know even if she had? Yeah, so she missed, unfortunately. Defense roll 22, very unfortunate. The owl bit. Charged out there and bit the harvester, but the enchanted spear missed. She does have pretty good, you know, she's in decent shape. The White Wolf have kind of like gone through the middle and failed to hit these harvesters, and they're getting stuck in over here, but they're kind of blocked. What happened to the Order Knights up there? Did they all just die? They're kind of split up, aren't they? The Teutogan Guard are doing okay over there. I think they've killed some harvesters. Yeah, but the White Wolves are kind of falling apart at this point. We've got this group on the flank killing these spearmen off. The other thing with these cavalry is if the rider's killed, the horse is just there getting chopped up and they're getting their health back again, the harvesters. They're very scary with that bless. Very obviously. So you can see the crossbows are pretty effective. These guys only have 9 protection. They do have, of course, pierce resistance, but even so, crossbows will hurt them. The Teutogan Guard can hold decently. They've got good stats, very good protection. Obviously, this is with the group bark skin, 24 protection, very nice. Let's take a quick look at the god. So she's not been hit yet. She has killed a harvester. She has killed a heavy infantry. I'll stay here for a bit. So I think she just lost her mist form. Yeah, her mist form just got broken by that harvester hit. That was very unfortunate. I guess they just hit hard enough. But I think Middenheim's looking at a route here. If they had some more priests, they could kill these harvesters. Because these harvesters are getting shot up. The damage on them is quite high. How's the Titan doing? Still hasn't really been hurt. Did she get another kill? No, I think the knight that was next to her actually killed that harvester. Yeah, another harvester killed. I mean, when they manage to hit them, they kill them, and it's really a big problem for them is just that they're in darkness. It's really, really bad. It doesn't affect the vampires at all. And it's a disaster for Middenheim, frankly. So the god is now in a bit of trouble, I would say. Multiple harvesters attacking, and multiple Graveguard who also hit very hard. The harvesters don't have magic weapons, but the Graveguard do. Which would matter if they got the... So the Teutogan Guard have now been killed. The god is getting chopped up, slowly but surely. I mean, the fatigue is high enough that it's a problem. So we got some damage coming through. A lot of it's still getting negated, but, you know, Look at this harvester hit for 15 damage. That's very high against 27 protection. I think she's done for. It was a good idea, but she just ended up on her own. It's kind of a scripting issue that the White Wolves got kind of taken through the middle as well. This was the point where they did well. The Teutogan Guard held the Harvesters, and these missile units shot them up. But now the Harvesters are through, and they can get their health back. You know, these guys are out of ammo too, so they're just trying to fight with their short swords, and it's not going to work. So the god dies, and the Harvesters have got free reign. There we go, everyone's routed. Boris is gone. It's a shame he didn't get to fight, but he is doomed. And the Harvesters can now finish off what's left. Let's cut out of that one. Obviously, total disaster for Midnight. That's the end of them as a faction, basically. There's nothing to be done, really. Titan of War and Wisdom got 3 kills. Archer's got 4 kills. State Crossbowmen got 12, which is decent. These Harvesters are, you know, expensive, but the Harvesters aren't that expensive. They're only 45 gold. It's making me wonder if they're a touch too good. I mean, that Blessing is very, very good. It's a very good choice. I guess we'll see. It's hard to say. It is a very expensive Blessing that's been taken, and then they're up against basically no Blessing from Middenheim. They don't have any sacred units. Yeah, the Teutogan Guards did well. The White Wolf Knights did okay. I mean, these guys are expensive, but the fact that they killed some of the Harvesters is good. 29 Harvesters killed total. Just most of them. If this fight had been under different circumstances, primarily if this fight had not been in the darkness, they probably would have won. Slightly different scripting as well would have helped them, like the Grandmaster not running off, slightly different scripting of the Order Knights maybe. Possibly the White Wolf Knights in a slightly different position or on hold and attack or something. I don't know. But yeah, the Wolfkin didn't do anything. This was their Bless unit. Wolfkin are not great, they're kind of cheap obviously. Yeah, but the main thing is just don't sally out during the darkness. If they'd have waited, because this turn there is no more darkness in the next turn. I guess they didn't know that, but I didn't know that either. But in the next turn there is no darkness. Anyway, that's enough of that. We've now got Norska fighting some independents. The independents are some knights, pretty scary, and some rubbish. We get to see Norska's Bless. It's a scary Bless, literally. It's awe and fear, awesomely scary. And fire resistance. Fire resistance is pretty good against me. Awe and fear, not so scary to me. Because I can use lots of ranged weapons, which the Chosen are very vulnerable to. Lots of crossbows works fine against that. It ignores the awe and fear. Terracotta warriors as well have very high morale, so they kind of ignore it. You can hold the line with them. But they're going to do great here. They've got Bear Struck too, which are really cool. They've got some Raven Struck. They're keeping them back. This is very sensible behaviour to use these guys as bodyguards because they're quite vulnerable. They only have 13 protection from their invulnerability. So just keeping them out of the fight is a good idea. Let the Bears and the Chosen do their work. Hold them back. Because they're useful later on. You know, the Wolves have got stealth, the Ravens have got flying and so on. And they can heal up as well. Yeah, they've got recuperation. So they can lose these afflictions they have if you just let them have some time. So yeah, pretty scary stuff from Norska. A very efficient taking of those knights. Only lost to Reavers, really. Skavenblight. The Orcs are back. Savage Orcs return. Skavenblight is not defending. So they did not patrol with their forces. They just let the Orcs take them back. But we know Skaven do still have plenty of stuff. They've got those rat ogres and there's some sensor bearers and things. So yeah, interesting. They just didn't choose to fight at their capital that turn. Then we have a battle in Erd. This is Black Crag with a cavalry force. Interesting. Squig Hoppers and some Boar Boys against just very minimal province defense. So that's going to be a very easy win for them there. And of course, the darkness favours the greenskins, not the beastmen. Gnawing Rats in Northia. We've got rid of the ones in Sulfuria, so I'm going to put up the province defense in Northia to get rid of the Gnawing Rats there if I can. An unexpected event in Spring Spires. 940 gold. Considering I've got Misfortune, I've been pretty lucky with events, I would say. And the Pebble Pouch. Very nice. We get an explainer of the Plague Garden. The reason we're going to get that every single turn, the reason being that Nurgle now has access to that plague, so we have to know how it works, even if it's nowhere near us. I maybe could change those events so it only tells you if you're near, but it would be a bit fiddly to do it. Anyway, it'll just tell us every turn. So what are we doing this turn? A couple of things. Oh, sorry, there was one more thing that I completely hopped over, wasn't there? We attacked the Narian Sea. So this is the thing we were looking forward to. Our two Dragonbloods buffing themselves up for 3 turns, waiting for 2 turns, and then fighting. And they're against not very impressive enemies at all. The Atlantean militia, though they do have experienced stars, and some Shamblers. Really, the only thing that could possibly happen to us is a little bit of poison. It's the only thing I'm really worried about. Or I guess being too fatigued and taking damage, even though we've got high protection. So look at the protection on the Longma, 28. Oh. And they've got protective force and everything. So I'm imagining I'm not going to take any damage. Let's see if I'm right about that. Just zooming ahead. And we'll just let it play out. So a combination of our high defense and our high protection means they just can't harm us at all, and then we've got enough offensive output that the fight doesn't drag on too long. We don't get that fatigued out. So yeah, tired, and the Longma actually did get hit through 28 protection, which is kind of interesting. When did that happen? Is that just repels, maybe? He took repel damage? Yeah, I can't really tell why he has a point of damage to him. Strange. Anyway, it's a win. We take that rather high income sea province. 152 income. Very, very welcome. We cannot from here... Oh, we get a coral reef too. Look at that, an extra Water Gem per turn. We cannot from here strike out at Blue Beauty. So instead we're going to go for Embracer. Boaties is the one I was scared of. Embracer is definitely tougher. Triton Guards are significantly tougher. But I think that those two will be fine. It's just really good to be able to take these. In terms of Blue Beauty, I'm actually building a force here of these terracotta troops and some more terracotta troops there, and I've got some terracotta troops in the garrison, and I am animating some more terracotta pikemen, and I'm hoping just a big lump of terracotta troops will be able to take that, because it's just shark tropes, and even though terracotta troops are very good underwater, they should be, a decent number of them should be able to take that. So that's the plan there. Also casting Distill Gold, that's where all our fire gems are going this turn, and we're forging a Ring of Water Breathing so that our commander over here can lead them in. The commander will be this guy, New You. It's the New You, the underwater You. So he'll be leading them into Blue Beauty. The rest of the troops over on this flank are moving over to Spring Spires. So not a huge army. I'd much rather have a bigger army there. And we are recruiting some more things, like more crossbowmen. I think crossbowmen are probably the best thing we have against the vampires out of just our basic troops. Against the harvesters, there's other stuff I can use. Obviously, I would like to build some more counters, but I'm just busy. So I haven't really got them available. Maybe they have to protect somewhere else. But I really don't want to lose Spring Spires because we, of course, have invested into it in a palisade. We've got 3 months left on that palisade. We really do want to get that up before anything else happens. And a thing that is definitely threatening that is this very scary army here. So Middenheim has basically nothing in Bagaloth. This army cannot attack Spring Spires because they can't cross the water this turn. So they are going to move into Bagaloth. Almost certainly. I would be very surprised if they didn't. Assuming that they move into Bagaloth, they've got nowhere else to go except going home, which is, if they're allied with the vampires, which seems to be the case, that's quite unattractive to go home and spend a long time going somewhere else, maybe attacking over here, like move back, attack over here, possibly. It's more likely that they would attack one of my provinces. And initiate a war with me. It would be a weird diagonal war, but they could definitely do it. And they would threaten Spring Spire, and I just don't want them there in Bagaloth next to Spring Spire unless I've got some troops. So I will have some troops, but it's not really enough to deal with this army. Reichsguard, Demi-Griffon, Order Knights, Knights Griffin. So this is high quality heavy cavalry, and the Worm is there as well. So it may be that we just end up losing that. I just can't move enough troops over there to stop the army, but we'll move some troops to make it look a bit more in doubt and maybe stall for time. Yeah, in the capital, I am hiring some because I've not had one so far. A Dynas general, and some heavy cavalry. We'd like to have our own heavy cavalry because they can move quite quickly and because they're just generally useful, especially with strength of earth on them. And yeah, other than that, just recruiting monks, as I'm always recruiting monks. Got a very big stack of monks here from Suanmi, and they are moving up because they are good against the enemy knights. Particularly they're good against harvesters, against the undead because they're solar weapons. So we're moving those up into the area, and they'll basically have to guard these two. Over on the eastern flank, we are going on the offensive against the Beastmen. I was considering not doing that and playing very conservatively. I'm not quite sure what the Orcs are doing, but I don't think the Orcs, based on what they have said, I don't think they're attacking Obelshin. And even if they were, I'm sending a very significant force into Obelshin, including all these mercenary swordsmen, lots of ranged firepower, and a significant force of both heavy cavalry and good infantry and monks. We don't have very many blessing guys available because I held one of them back to build a temple because I just had a lot of gold and it was made sense to do it so I can make more monks here. But anyway, that's a very scary force and I don't imagine there'll be anything in Obelshin to stop them. The worst case would be Beastmen move loads of stuff into Obelshin predicting move for the Orcs attack from move forth. I fight the Beastmen, take casualties, take that, and then the Orcs move on to me, or vice versa. I have to fight both of them. It is possible. I'm also attacking Squirrel Point. Very unlikely there's going to end up with many defences over there. So I've sent a smaller army. It's just some terracotta stuff and then a lot of ranged units, which should be enough to deal with the province defense I'm expecting to run into up there. Once we've taken those two, we might just stop. Because again, I don't want to get over extended. I don't want the beastmen to go, oh, I've definitely lost, and just attack me again and waste more of my forces. I'd rather they were fighting the orcs. But they did attack me and take two of my provinces, so this is turnabout's fair play as far as I'm concerned. And it's good to have buffer provinces. Even if I have to move all my guys back immediately after doing this, just taking those provinces would be nice. And I think I can keep Obelshin. I don't think that would be a massive problem because we can move a lot of guys over there. All right, that's probably quite a lot to have talked about this turn, given that not a massive amount happened. So let's see what happens in the next turn.